What is the true cost of going fully off-grid? South Africans considering going off-grid without Eskom's backup power should be aware that it may come at an unjustifiably high cost. The re-emergence of load shedding has enraged many people, with some threatening, again, to throw the electricity utility out. Although some families have installed backup power systems to avoid load shedding, these arrangements are frequently grid-tied, meaning they have access to Eskom electricity when their own systems fail. One would ask, how did we get here? Well, here's the short version. The South African energy crisis is a time in which South Africa sees extensive rolling blackouts as supply falls behind demand, posing a threat to the national grid stability. It started in the late months of 2007 and is still going on now. Insufficient generation capacity, according to Eskom, the government-owned national power utility and principal power generator, and several politicians. When producing units are taken offline for maintenance, repairs, or refueling, such load shedding is implemented with a reserve margin of 8% or less, in the case of nuclear units. The answer, according to Eskom and government authorities, necessitates the construction of more power stations and generators. The energy situation has been compounded by Eskom's corruption and inefficiency. Eskom personnel incompetence and carelessness have also contributed to the continued power supply issues. While many people are fed up with the utility's poor track record of keeping the lights on, the truth is that cutting ties with it is neither straightforward nor inexpensive. In an interview with My Broadband, AW Power Managing Director and Head of Operations Christian Hatting emphasized this. While many people were angry with Eskom during load shedding, Hatting stated that when load shedding was not in effect, grid supplies provided significant convenience and cost savings to homes. He believes it is necessary to revisit how household solar systems work in order to understand why. Photovoltaic, PV, panels, batteries, and inverters are the three main components of most systems. PV panels convert solar energy into electrical energy, which is then delivered to an inverter, which converts the energy into a form that can be used in everyday household applications. When the panels cannot generate enough electricity to fulfill a household's demands, excess energy is routed to backup battery storage. One of the major drawbacks of these systems is that their output capacity is restricted, as decided by the inverter. Unlike a single-phase household connection, which can output roughly 13 kilowatts of grid power on demand, capable, cost-effective inverters can normally output about 5 kilowatts or 8 kilowatts. With high peak power demand appliances like pool and water pumps, stoves, ovens, and air conditioners, backup systems can frequently trip unless you take painstaking care to restrict your usage at any one moment. Going completely off the grid, according to Hatting, would necessitate a major mental shift in which the household becomes acutely aware of how and when specific items are used. If you go off-grid, you must be fully committed to understanding your system and what it can do, Hatting said. Monitoring technologies that allow you to gain a better view of your usage habits are a good place to start. Furthermore, while South Africa receives plenty of sunlight for electricity generation, it can also have long periods of gloomy weather. This can reduce a solar PV system's power production ability to roughly 10%, 20% of its maximum capacity, considerably lowering the amount of electricity pumped into the home's electricity network or battery storage. To achieve 100% off-grid capabilities, Hatting recommends oversizing your system to account for solar availability fluctuations. Whatever you believe you need, Hatting stated, you need more than double, triple, quadruple. Large households should expect to pay around R500,000 for an enlarged off-grid system if they want to keep utilizing power without changing their habits. Rubicon Chief Product Officer Nick Roche concurred, estimating that going entirely off-grid would cost R727,000 minus VAT for a household using 1,200 kilowatt-hour per month on average. The R25,000 generator, which comes highly recommended, is not included in the price. A system that can fulfill roughly 95% of your electricity needs, on the other hand, will cost far less. Within suburban areas, Eskom's connection service fees are often not high enough to justify a complete cut-off. The majority of clients pay roughly R115 per month for grid access. Hatting recommended combining the system with a generator in circumstances where having Eskom as a backup is not an option or where connection fees may be prohibitive. On days when the sun does not generate enough energy to supply their home or charge their batteries to a sufficient level, Households can utilize the generator to charge their batteries. Hatting also warned that if your grid connection is cut off by the distributor, it will be difficult to sell your home. These are the 3 recommended feasible grid-tied systems from AW Power for houses who use an average of 600 kWh, 900 kWh, or 1,200 kWh of electricity each month. Please note that this is not a promotion for AW Power, so please remember to do your own research before deciding. Thank you for watching.